you ended up starting 100 Thieves.
Mhm.
That's after what, like 2-3 years in LA?
Yeah, 2015 to like 2017.
Okay. Let's say you stopped. You're making full-time content still.
Yeah.
Up until 2015,
Up till like the end of 2017.
which is around when I stopped also, actually.
Yeah, right when 100 Thieves like officially started, and all of a sudden, my business partner at the time is like, "We're gonna be in the office every day."
Yeah.
And it's funny when I say that because I'm like the CEO.
Yeah.
But I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm doing, and he does, so I'm just gonna listen to this guy. And then I'm like, dude, I can't do YouTube and this at the same time. And quite frankly, was burnt out, which is why 100 Thieves started in the first place. So
It's so funny to me. It's the exact same story with me. I was over YouTube too. I'm not gonna lie. Like didn't want to make videos anymore.
yeah,
And at that time, our quote unquote CEO got outed for funneling money to his family members and all this stuff. And the guy got kicked out. And we had our other CEO come in who was also no longer there. But I remember like I was the only one out of us 4 founders that was like, all right, let me go into the office and like try to salvage what I can. So I stopped making YouTube videos. My income, I was making money. I was making good money. Looking back, I can't believe, it was the biggest blessing on earth. And I stopped all of that, and I went into the office, and not one employee in the office knew who I was, right? I'm one of the biggest face members at the time, the founder, right? Nobody knew who I was. And I had to like swallow my ego, pride, whatever, and I had to just like, introduce myself. And I like slowly threw myself in the corporate environment, right? And I stopped making content. And I know you did too. And the reason I'm giving this whole background is because there's a recent clip of you when you were, you're back to streaming now. Again, we're skipping a lot and we're going to come back. But you're back to streaming now for the first time in a long time. You're kind of fully focusing on content.
yeah.
And there was a leak basically during your subathon, if you don't mind me mentioning it.
Nah, whatever.
Okay. Right?
I already
Like
had
you
to deal with
accidentally you accidentally showed your dashboard on Twitch.
Because I was sending an email to Twitch about, hey, why haven't I made money from ads the last 5 days? Which sounds insane because people got to see that number.
I know. Once again,
I'm like, bro, people can do math, but
yeah.
it was 1 month.
Yeah. No, but I mean, listen. Again, hope you don't mind me, but it was like $250,000.
Yeah.
In 1 month on Twitch, which again is insane. And I know it was a subathon also, so it's not necessarily a normal month on Twitch, especially for yourself.
Yeah.
Me, right? Me who had a very similar experience as we keep saying, right? Living in my parallel universe. When I see you making that much money, I swear to God, maybe other than your wife and your dad and I don't think there's anyone that's genuinely happier than someone like myself. I swear to God, because I'm like, dude, I know how you've probably felt since you stopped in 2017. And because I watched your clip of you explaining it, because you sat for like 10 minutes on stream, like, okay, guys, and you gave your whole spiel about, it's a lot of money, and you explained how you felt like you missed out on so much while you're building 100 Thieves, and I've thought about that over and over and over in my head in my room as after Face crashed, and I'm like, dude, I just put all my eggs in this basket. I stopped making money. My savings are gone. Like, what am I doing, right? So to see someone like yourself, who I know, like we spoke to in the last couple of years, I know you're in a similar boat. So I was very happy to see that, right? And I also know you having a kid now. I'm sure you look at money completely different now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you look at it and you're so grateful to be making money like that. So first and foremost, I want to just say I'm happy and congrats on that huge month. And I know you said the ads stopped. Hopefully they'll come back.
Well, they're not as good as they were pre-subathon and pre-election, but it's still doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the money thing was tough. Look, I was getting paid I was getting paid well in 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
I wasn't making over $1 million. I'll just say it. Like most years, my salary was like $600,000.
Okay.
And I sold a little bit of equity on 2 raises that we did, and so it's not like I was pinching pennies. The more these clips get brought up, the more I feel the need to not continue to perpetuate the idea that I was eating instant ramen noodles every single.
No, I understand.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've done well for myself, but it's a tough situation. Why it's hard to talk about money in front of folks, because in my eyes, when I think about 8 years away from content, and we bring up the fact that you were burnt out, I was burnt out. Who knows what would have happened on YouTube and Twitch and all of that. But as the Fortnite boom and the Warzone boom and the creators that we were bringing on and the deals that we were bringing them and the money we were paying them.
That also doesn't help, by the way.
Yeah.
When you're funneling, I mean, you're happy for the people. You're bringing them huge deals.
Yeah.
You're happy that your creators are making money, but it doesn't help what you feel like you're missing out on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are problems that people will hear about that may scoff at the idea of complaining, but just because somebody's problems seem obscene and absurd to somebody else doesn't mean That's not my reality.
Yeah.
And so I don't ever get on the internet and complain about the money that I could have made or the money that I'm making now beyond the 100 Thieves, LA Thieves salary debacle with the Call of Duty players, Scrap and Hydra, because that story is very much true. But there's always just your human beings by nature are greedy, and I think that I could have made exponentially more money if I were making content full time in the time that I started 100 Thieves than I would have if I didn't make the decisions that I did.
Yeah.
So the subathon month, yes. Was it $250,000? Absolutely. I think there's only been 1 month on Twitch where I've made over 100 grand in a single month. And I'm not saying that to sound as if this isn't an ungodly amount of money and woe is me.
Yeah.
I just want people to be clear because in my mind, not trying to sound self-serving in a way, or not self-serving, but I'm like, listen, there are 100,000 creators on YouTube and thousands of people on Twitch that have been on this platform for like 8, 10 years that are making way more than I am. And I'm like, what? I leaked it on accident, but what's everybody? I just got here again, bro.
Yeah.
This is my first month, and that's never going to happen again unless I do another subathon and pray to God that these boys lift me up the way that they did.
Yeah.
But I promise you I'm not complaining about the money. Beyond grateful that I can take care of my family, and I always have been and always will be through doing what I love. But I don't want people to think I'm making $250,000 every single month because it's just not true.
Yeah, I mean, especially when people see valuations of 100 Thieves and FaZe, like when FaZe is valued at $1 billion, I'm like, I got family members thinking that I have $1 billion. I'm like, brother, to that point, and I've mentioned it, but I've never sold one share of my FaZe. I never cashed out or anything, right? And it's like the reality is just so much different than people think. And I don't know. There's a lot of things. Maybe some people will be able to kind of grasp why we feel the way we feel about certain things. But like you said, even if it's not the most relatable thing and it sounds crazy to some people, I don't think any of us are trying to complain or, again, you spoke about your background. My dad had $100 when he moved to this country. Like, we get it. Like, we're not, I mean, again, like, anyways, it's hard. I think the worst thing is also just feeling like you're missing on opportunity that you don't know if it will come back. And I think everyone can understand that.
Well, and you also battle with yourself on what should I continue to allow people to believe this is the perception?
Yeah.
Because if I break what they believe is reality and sit and talk about what's actually happening, it's still better than most and 99% of Americans. So then you just sound like a prick.
Yeah.
So it's...
For me, it's just more of just stressing over what could have been, what opportunity. Like, now I'm never going to be able to do that again. That's why when I saw that month for you, I was like, at least it probably gave you so much confidence and, like, comfort and, like, okay, maybe if I really keep streaming, you'll be good, at least.
Yeah.
The viewers will be there. Maybe it's not going to be the numbers you had at the subathon every month, but you at least know now that you can fully dial into streaming, and you have been, right?
Yeah.
As I keep mentioning, I've seen you on TikTok. See you like every day you're doing it.
200 plus hours a month, dude.
Yeah, and it's like at least it's stability. For me, the reason I wanted to get back to making content more than anything, it's like I just need something that I can do consistently, that I know will consistently just like I'll keep moving instead of sitting and thinking, which I did for 2 years. What if I didn't stop making YouTube videos? What if FaZe didn't crash? And I just had to start, right? So I feel like I don't know if that's the case for you, why you started streaming, but I think for you stream and to have that great reception on the first month back, I mean, hopefully now, you think for 2025, you're locked in. Like, you're going to be streaming and you probably feel comfortable knowing what you're going to do every day.
No, I'm ready to be, I'm streaming for the rest of my life, bro. Like, I mean, after working in a business and corporate setting with the amount of responsibility decisions you have to make, I think the best thing that I can be doing for 100 Thieves and my family is to be doing what I originally stumbled upon by sheer luck and timing that I'm good at, which is just making cock jokes on the internet, brother.
And I think,
and I'm not gonna try to break that reality again. I like doing what I'm doing. Some months are tougher than others, but dude,
to your point though,
I ain't going back, bro.
Yeah, good.
This is better. It really is a better gig than anything else I could be doing in my mind.
And I think for 100 Thieves, you're right too. I think it's very important for 100 Thieves, to have yourself, you've always been the face, but to have yourself pop in on Twitch, can only be good for the company too.
Yeah.
So we haven't really spoke about the Thieves, and again, I'm not gonna go through the entire story because you've spoke about it, and you spoke about how you're obviously a founder of Hundred Thieves. You started it. So sick name. I love it. I think it's very unique.
Thank you.
And now you've told the story about everything about the inception, how it was supposed to be a merch company, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of transformed slowly into what it is
Yeah.
today. In a couple sentences, I guess, can you describe what it is up until today? What has Hundred Thieves been? Because, like you said, maybe you wanted it to be a merch company, and I don't want to make you do the same thing that you've said probably, but just a couple sentences. How
Yeah,
would you
brother.
describe
I mean, we're an esports team. I think now, in my mind, first and foremost, that hasn't always been the case. I mean, we're an esports team, but we're also like focusing on trying to be like a media company at the same time. At one point, we had an energy drink. At another point, we were trying to be a game publisher. And then, when business is going well and you're making more money and investors want to see higher returns and see the scale continue to rise and the valuations that you're getting, you feel pressured to try to make and create more value with the momentum that you have. And I don't actually know if, and quite frankly, I believe it's not the right strategy. I probably would have focused more on the core business as it was, which was apparel, content, and esports, rather than taking as big of a swing that we did. But we're an entertainment business that primarily focuses on esports. I guess that kind of contradicts how I started these things. My biggest focus that I care about the most with 100 Thieves is having the best teams in the world competing across multiple titles.
above the merch even now?
I think the apparel and the merchandise coincide with that success and can be successful standing on its own or intertwined with the things that I care about the most right now. And if you talk to a few executives at 100 Thieves, they might not necessarily agree with the order of which I have things slated out of my mind, but I think that's what's important for the business and the legacy that I want to leave on 100 Thieves in the gaming community.
I think biasedly, maybe, but I think without a shadow of a doubt, if that's what you think 100 Thieves should focus on, then that's what 100 Thieves should focus on. And I know it sounds obvious to me, to you, to a lot of people listening, but people would be shocked to know maybe that people don't always really hold those opinions to weight at the scale that they should be. I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe, again, I might be projecting about FaZe, but, I think that's so important is having you lead the direction of it. And, I know you were the CEO. You were making day-to-day in the office. You were kind of like, you're recruiting talent. Even, I'm sure you were, like you said, we were talking about before, titles and thumbnails on videos and social media posts. And I've talked to you about this again, too, about like how you caption things on social media. Like me and you both, I think, have this hyper fixation on every detail. And I know you were doing that for so long. Are you still the CEO today?
Title, yes.
Okay.
But look, a lot of stuff like this has remained behind closed doors.
Okay.
I have told our board multiple times that I don't want to be the CEO.
Yeah.
And separating myself enough from the business to where I can stream full time again and make money from streaming again, that was a conversation that spanned across many, many, many months and quite frankly, many years. My previous business partner, John Robinson, he left the company at the beginning of this year. And this was at a time where I was trying to separate myself from the title of CEO. And both those things happening at the same time, the executives at 100 Thieves, like Jason Tan, who's our CFO, has been with us since like the second year. Julie Van was our head of HR, and she walked us through the multiple rounds of layoffs. She is an incredible, incredible leader where people love to work with her because they can listen. She listens to them, and she helps guide the company through those decisions. And when John left and I wanted to step away as a CEO, she stepped up to be the COO.
Okay.
And now she's helping operate the business with Jason. And then Jacob is the president of 100 Thieves, which I think all three of them in a way are kind of taking on the responsibility as the CEO.
Okay.
And this is why, listen, every company, especially at a scale like this, definitely needs definitive roles and definitive responsibilities. But I think the problem that 100 Thieves had was that John and I coupled a lot of responsibility for the business and conversations and board meetings with the board. And John was a good operator. But John also liked to make sure every decision ran through him. And I think now having Julie, Jason, and Jacob, plus Pat and a number of other people at the company operate it sort of like as one unit together, which I'm not saying it wasn't like that before, but there were just more hurdles and roadblocks for everybody else because John would always want to make sure that he had a temperature check from me before he made a decision.
Yeah.
And if I disagreed with something John wanted to do, him and I would have like a pretty healthy back and forth about what direction we should go. But I think John had a good way of wearing me down to where he could navigate and make the decisions for the company. And I don't think the majority of them were bad, but there definitely were disagreements between us, and we would try to find, at least from my perspective, try to find the right path forward. But the long story short of it is, after all of that word vomit, I just could not step away as the title CEO because Jason, Jacob, and Julie thought that there would just be too much disconnect between what the community was perceiving was happening with 100 Thieves, with John leaving and me going to step away to do full-time content, that they wanted to wait until we either made like Jacob the CEO or found a replacement for me.
Yeah.
And the board sort of agreed with that. And that was really actually a contentious point for me because I'm like, guys, I've been sitting here trying to tell you that I should not be doing this. And I don't want, it's not even about the community thinking that I'm trying to like run away from the responsibility. It was just the thought of me being on the hook for anything else that was happening at this business when, quite frankly, I should not be doing this as it is. Like, I can help with the creative, I can help with the direction, but I'm not suited for the day-to-day management. And quite frankly, had a lot of help with John, the majority of him basically acting as a CEO. So it was just, I don't want to, because I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, but I didn't think that there would be a big issue with me stepping away and John leaving at the same time.
Okay.
And I told them because they were having a massive weight now put on their shoulders with the two people that they relied on the most to do their jobs effectively leaving. So I'm like, all right, I'll stay the CEO for the rest of the year. But they were totally understanding and agreed, like, you do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I'm still on the board. I'm still doing as much as I can when they need me, but they're operating the business as it stands today.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, as we have this conversation, I need to get on my P's and Q's about this full-blown, not separation, but like when people ask me this question, I don't have a great answer for them. And, you know, obviously now I just said it all.
Yeah.
But it was really just trying to make sure that there wasn't too much damage done to the perception of 100 Thieves.
I get it, yeah.
And to be honest with you, if you look back at the last year, they've done an incredible job. I mean, they've been instrumental in continuing to help grow the business. And we're actually in a really good place, not only financially, but I think culturally. They, instead of doing like a monthly all company meeting, they do it every single week. And all the employees feel more informed. They feel more responsible for everything that we do rather than sort of just doing the job that they've been siloed off to. And I don't think that's one size fits all, that it's a good thing at all times, but I think for the majority of the time, it is a very good thing for a business like ours. So I am still technically the CEO. I'm still on the board and will continue to be on the board, but I'm not doing anything nearly even remotely as close as I was when I was living in LA, going into the office every day.
And that might even be healthier for your relationship with 100 Thieves long term.
It's way healthier because I'm sure you felt this as well.
Yeah.
My biggest thing that I told the board and my biggest thing that I try to explain time and time again is that we have now made decisions so many times on so many things that we do every single day, whether it's the way that jerseys look or whether this partner that we're pitching to would actually be a good fit, whether this creator is the right creator, whether Juvie and this flavor that we should be doing and this high ground decision, this collaboration. I'm like, guys, I don't, you know, the CEO is supposed to set the direction for the business and have everybody else go execute on that. And I do think I had a good direction in the early years of 100 Thieves, in part with help from John. But now that I've been under the hood for so long, I don't even trust the decisions and the things that I think anymore, whether it's good or not, because at every turn of the corner and a good, you know, the government, we have checks and balances. In the business, me and John, we agreed on a lot of things, but we also contrasted with each other on certain aspects because I come, you know, natively from gaming.
Yeah.
He worked in gaming for a good part of his career, but there were certainly things that me as like a tastemaker, we would disagree on. And I think a lot of the things that we experienced at 100 Thieves made me start to doubt my instincts. And I'm like, well, I don't want to go in the office and put in a big fight for this and fight for this, that, and the other, because I don't even know if I believe that I'm saying and thinking.
Yeah.
So I told them, I'm like, not only should I not be the CEO of this business, but I need to be a step removed away from the day-to-day decisions that I may not have necessarily built up entirely myself, because a lot of the success of 100 Thieves is built off the backs and work of other people.
Yeah.
I need to be like a fan of 100 Thieves again, away from this stress, so I can actually trust the decisions that I'm making and help you guys make informed decisions on everything from here on out without me being tied down to the weight of this business, because I don't know what's right and what's wrong anymore. So I need to get away from it. I need to sit here and actually be able to do what I'm best at, not doubt myself anymore on what I'm spending my time doing day to day, not doubt myself on what I'm going to say in this meeting about this X, Y, and Z. And I think that's what's been the best thing for me. And I think it is the best thing for the business, as long as Jason, Julie, and Jacob and the entire executive team, along with Pat on apparel, are comfortable with how I'm interacting with the business and if they're set up for success with the tools that they have without me.
Very interesting, man. Even like, thankfully, like you said, the results have been good.
I
since
think
it
they've been
happened.
good.
Yeah, and I think you even wanting to step away again. That's like the opposite of what people would expect. Most people, they want the title, they don't want to do the work. You're like, I don't want the title because it's not what's best for the company. It's because it's not what's best for you. You were operating. At the end of the day, it's for what's best for 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
You know, it's for you, but it's also for 100 Thieves. And
I believe that.
yeah.
So whether somebody disagrees, I don't care. I wrestled with this thing for years, bro.
Yeah. No, I can imagine.
Thinking
bro.
about it every
I can imagine.
I genuinely thought I was about to have a mental breakdown, bro. Like, if you brought my wife and had her sit next and talk to me, for years, the only thing that she would hear from me is about what I hated at doing the job that I was doing. I'm not built for it. I don't want it. I have a profound respect for folks that run businesses. And maybe if the entire idea of being a creator didn't exist and that road in my head was blocked off and all I had to do was focus on it and this was the only thing that mattered, maybe I'd be better at it. But just knowing that there's this thing that I know I'm good at, that I've been doing my entire life, and I basically just stopped it completely when 100 Thieves started for many different reasons. If that didn't exist and this, outlet didn't exist, maybe I'd be better at it. But I don't know.
It's interesting. Yeah,
Running a business is not easy.
It's not,
and it's not for me.
Maybe the peak years of phase. Like when I say peak, I'm saying from a company size, financially, whatever. For me, the peak years were earlier on, right, when we were all having fun with it a little more. But I didn't enjoy those years, man. I didn't enjoy when we were doing these massive collaborations and huge events and Fortnite. Maybe I enjoyed some parts of it, like the World Cup. I enjoyed it, but most of the time, like you just mentioned, every day was just me. Like, dude, I hate this. I hate that. I don't want to do this anymore. I can't even look at my phone. I want to throw up when I see my phone and I see this text or that text. It was like, so I completely get it. It's just like, it's also when you have so many uncontrollable variables, like different people, so many opinions, so many personalities. It's not easy. Like you said, this time is valuable for us too, in our 20s and coming out of
20s.
success.
I'm 32.
Yeah, I'm 28. I'm saying the last.
You're 28.
I'm almost 32. I'm almost 30, as well.
I didn't realize I was 4 years older than you.
Yeah.
I feel
How old
worse
did you
about
think?
myself,
You think
dude.
I was like 30 already?
I thought you were my age.
And I'm 20. Yeah.
God damn it, banana phone, 34.
Well, basically 30.
Was it 314 or 34?
34.
Okay, I knew I wasn't faded.